So appreciating everyone who's going to drop into this live video either now or in the future now moments to share a bit about the energy that's happening, what's going on in the world, energetically speaking. More importantly, what's going on in this very auspicious moment at the end of September as we move into October. And as you come in, just say hello. Let me see where you're at in the world and where you're joining in from. So maybe you're feeling a lot of things changing in your reality right now as we come to the end of September. August, September have been very intense months, and I use that word very consciously, and I know the frequency that word creates, this intensity, whereas a lot has been brought up to the surface. A lot of challenges have been presented to a lot of people throughout the energetic portal, the Lion's Gate of August and in through September. And we're really gearing up to enter into a really potent time that is the end of this year in October and November especially. And I'll speak a little bit about why those 2 months. We have a couple of gateways opening up and moments of realignment with a higher purpose and a higher vision. And ultimately, everything that we've been doing for the last, let's say, 2-3 months now, of this intense purification process that has shown up for all of us in various different ways, whether it has been the transition of a relationship, whether it has been a health crisis, whether it has been business transitions, whether it has been shifts in where you live on the planet. Maybe it's been shifts in your resources and your money and how you're feeling about yourself. A lot of big challenges have really come up in the last few months, and there is important reasons behind this. And I'm going to be sharing about that in this live video because we are entering into a quickening phase in the end of this year, and ultimately everything that we've just gone through, and I have been going through it as well. I've been sharing about my journey of everything I've been moving through with my teeth and with my health and with where I'm at on the planet. So much has been changing, and even in my business everything is changing right now as well too, and I'm in this kind of cosmic time out, and it's very uncomfortable to be in these moments of time out. That said, when I tune into the energy, all I receive is this is divinely aligned, and I tap into what's to come. And as we move into October, we're moving into a whole new energetic timeline, a whole new energetic bandwidth. So to just give you a little bit of a backstory so that this can all, track and be followed in your consciousness, is we are in an 11 universal year, which means that when we take the year 2018 and we add all the numbers up, we get 11. So we're in a master number year. We're in the numerological number of 11. And 11 is 2 ones, right? So you can also add that together and break it down to 2. So 11 not only represents this energy of the master number 11, it also carries this energy of a number 2, which is a very challenging master number. A lot of people see 11s and they think, oh yeah, this is so divinely aligned and it's such a high spiritual number, it's a master number, and all of those are 100% correct. It is a master number. It is divine alignment. It is a very deeply spiritual, mystical number that carries a very high vibration with it. That said, it is a number that has a lot of challenge in it. People with path numbers 11 have very challenging life experiences because it is a highly spiritual initiatory number that requires a bit of dissonance in it to really understand, because we have the 1, which is the sovereign, the independent, the free, and then we have, when we bring those 2 ones together and amplify it, we have the 2, which is all about union and partnership and doing it together with a partner. So we have this divinely sovereign energy when it's in the 11, and then when we combine the 1s and we get 2, we have this partner. So this 11 is constantly in this flux of finding sovereignty and finding spiritual initiation, and still having this deep yearning inside for this partnership in this union. So you can see how when these dynamics are playing out, there can be a lot of challenge, a lot of confusion, a lot of obstacles that one moves through for those higher spiritual initiations, which ultimately is why we have this 1 and 1 and then the 2, is because the 11 allows for such a higher spiritual initiation. And I just preface that in the background because it's very important for us to not get so caught up in thinking, oh, okay, this is spiritual, so it's going to be really effortless and graceful and aligned. And as someone who has a path number as 11, this life is incredibly graceful. That said, it is very, very challenging because it is calling whomever is carrying the 11 into a higher spiritual initiation. And all of us are in an 11 year. So all of us are moving through terrain this year that has been asking us and inviting us into a higher spiritual initiation. So ultimately, when we're looking at this 2018, this 11 year, it has been very challenging. It has called to us to look at all of the deeper patterns and the deeper programs inside of us and really see what is not serving. And we're entering into having 2 back-to-back 11 gateways. So we're going into October 10th. October 10th is an 11-11 gateway, and November 11th is like the crux of all gateways that we're going to be going through this year. So if you thought that the Lionsgate portal was intense and the energy that was experienced through August and September were intense, then I really encourage you to do some fasting, some purifying of your body, and some deep meditation and breath work and practices, because November 11th is going to be a gateway that opens up such a frequency on this planet that it is going to really shift everything in our interpersonal and in our collective field. And we've been preparing for that throughout the Lionsgate gateway and the Syrian alignments that we go through throughout August and September, and the eclipse season that came before that. So we're in this major transformational moment in time, and all the intensity and all the change and all the transitions that has been happening for the last few months. We're going to see why that was happening, because the energy in October is going to pick up and it's going to move so quick. It's going to be moving so quickly, and you might already be feeling that in your body. I know I'm already feeling it in my body. I feel this like pulsing vibrational energy in my body where I'm just like being zapped with energy all day long. And it's really to what that is. And if you are experiencing that and being guided to just go into that a little bit, when we do start to get these higher frequencies or quickening of energy moving through, your body has been entrained to a certain vibration. So when a higher vibration starts to come through, a quickening starts to come through, it takes a little bit of time for the body to actually entrain itself to that new higher vibration. And that can be felt as like this nervous anxiety, a lot of heart Kundalini energy getting stuck in the heart. That's something I've been experiencing for the past 2 weeks. It's been like Kundalini has just been in my heart, like, and it's been nonstop. It's been keeping me up all hours of the night, and just this massive energy. And what happens is the shift, the frequency gets higher, it comes in, and then our body slowly starts to entrain. So that's why I said, if you are feeling this quickening in your body, this energetic shift happening in your body, that doing things like detoxing or doing a little fast or just eating light, having not as much dense food in your body all day long. Now, I'm not saying that's go and do a whole fast if that's not something that is energetically aligned for you right now. It's just really thinking about that energy is a lighter frequency. So we're bringing in a lighter, higher frequency. And if our body is holding on to a lot of density, and density are things like, processed foods and meats and dairies and wheats and things that grow in the ground, even like beets and carrots and things of that nature, potatoes, starches, right? Things that are growing in the ground and holding a lot of earth density. Any of that in our body is going to then cause a dissonance for this energy coming through. And that's when we can experience that intense frequency moving through our body a bit more, I guess uncomfortably is the best word to describe it, right? This uncomfortable feeling that's like, oh man, how do I open up this energy and get it to move differently? So it's really inviting our bodies to go through a shift. So just dropping that into the field, if anyone is feeling this moment in time where they're like getting so much energy and they're like, what is going on? And I have had a lot of people reach out to me in the past when they go through their individual Kundalini awakening processes, where they get this immense amount of energy, and it actually can scare a part of us. A part of us can become frightened by that much energy because we're not used to running that much current, that much electricity through our bodies, and it can feel very alarming to the ego. It can feel very uncomfortable to our bodies. It can keep us up at night. It can create a nervousness or an anxiety, because what it is the energy is just moving so quickly, and we have previously associated that pulsing energy through our body as maybe anxiety or nervousness. So if you are experiencing things like that right now, just know that it's not in you. You are not nervous or anxious. It's actually just you're bringing in a higher current of energy right now, electricity. It's like if you plugged your finger into an electrical socket, that voltage that you'd get through your body, we are getting that currently continually through our solar system right now, our entire planet. So it's like our whole planet has just plugged herself into an electrical socket, and we're all just like getting the currents of that moving through us. So if you are experiencing these things, just really drop into your body and think about expansion, right? Really focus your energy on wherever you're feeling it most intensely. Maybe it's in your heart, maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in the upper back or upper shoulders, maybe it's down in your roots, and just think about expanding that energy, right? Visualizing your body expand so that you can have more space for that energy to move, so it's not so constrained and constricted into one area inside of your body, which can create that overwhelming experience. So that's just one thing that you might be noticing as we start to enter into October, because we are entering into a time where these major gateways of energetic light codes from the sun are going to be coming through. And if you feel like you're in kind of a cosmic timeout right now, maybe your projects are in a standstill, maybe your relationship's not making much sense right now, maybe you're feeling like, I really don't know what's happening, my life kind of seems like it's making this huge shift and I don't know where it's going, that is all totally normal based on the energy that's coming through, because we have just gone through such a huge process in August, in September. October is going to take us into a higher frequency collectively as we go through the October 10th. So that would be 10, 10, 11. So you got the 1, 1, 11, and then the zeros in there as well, which resets everything. 0 is a cosmic reset that brings us back to 1. So then we have this double 0 reset, and then we go to the 11, 11 on 10, 10. So October 10th is a very, very important energetic day on the planet. And it's important for us collectively, and we're all preparing for that. And once we hit October 10th or October 1st, we also have an 11, 11. So we have 10, 1, 11. So then we're going to have 1, 1, 1, 1 with that 1, 0. That first reset is going to come in what's today, the 25th, and there are 5 more days left of this month. So the energy that you're coming through and streaming through all the changes that are happening right now are preparing you for the reset that October 1st is going to be, the first reset of this 11-11 energy. And then you get your second reset on October 10th. And then the energy from there is just going to continue spiraling faster and faster and faster and faster, building up to the 11-11, November 11th, and also intermediately November 1st. November 1st is going to be not a reset because there is no 0. It's going to be an activation of the light body of the 1. So the 1 is going to be the singularity, right? The unity consciousness. And that activation is going to begin November 1st and then November 11th, it's going to just expand and really really allow us to see what we have been working towards this entire year, because we've been in this 11 year all year long, and things have been changing. The planet has been shifting. A lot of disclosure has been coming out. Information that has been kept secret has become public information now. People are starting to become more aware of the issues that are happening globally, for the planet, for nature, spiritually, between religions, between countries. A lot of things are starting to come to the surface so that we can have this higher spiritual initiation take place, where we start to see what happens when we break down all of our walls that have separated us and bring us all into the reset, the one, right? The singularity, the unity consciousness. So everything that we have been observing this year, every pattern in our reality, and chances are the last couple of months you have become so crystal clear aware of certain patterns that have been playing out in your life, chances are for the past 2, 3, 4 years. And with that being said, patterns since, right, 2012, in that timeline, that said likely the past 2 years especially, there are some big patterns that have started to emerge and reveal themselves to us in the last couple of years. Because ultimately, when we zoom out a bit and we go from that moment in 2012 when we took a huge leap and the earth took a huge leap into a higher time band, where the destructive forces could no longer pull the earth back down into lower time bands, which means into timelines or experiences where the earth could potentially be destroyed, right? That'd be one lower time band. The earth in 2012 made a huge leap, and an agreement was made where the earth would not go back down into those lower time bands, and the earth would continue to evolve forward. And that essentially, we could say, if we were using human language about there being a battle that was happening for this planet, and that battle would be between love and fear, or light and darkness, in that moment the agreement was made for the planet to go into the love and the light and into evolution ultimately. So in that 2012 moment in time where the earth made this huge leap and shift, and then all the subsequent shifts that have happened since then, we have slowly been unraveling all of the ancestral collective patterns that came before that would somehow hold humanity back in outdated lower time bands, where potentially the earth was going to, destruct, and, humanity was going to destroy the planet. Humanity cannot destroy the planet on the time band that the earth is on right now. It's very important to really be aware of that, because the technology is here to go and clean up the oceans in 3 days. It's here. It's on the planet currently. It's being created and put together, and it's already known. So all of the solutions to quickly clean up and shift the planet are already here. They're being developed, and we're in this moment where we're actually waiting for the perfect timing to actually reveal these technologies to the masses, so that people can consciously be able to step into it without it totally disrupting their field, because it is technology that has come from other worlds, other timelines, higher dimensions. So we're slowly introducing humanity into these higher time bands, because the collective is all over the place, right? There's frequencies from all over the place in the collective. So we slowly bring humanity into introducing these technologies, these higher timeline ways of being. So with that being said, what this 11 year has been for us is showing us all of our individual and collective patterns. Chances are how it will show up in your personal life would be your ancestral, so your family's patterns, your mother, your father, your grandparents, or your great-grandparents, or going even farther back, those patterns that have shown up in your life, primarily in the realm of relationships, how you view relationships, how you view money, how you view your sense of security and connection to the earth. So that has really, those patterns have really revealed themselves throughout this year, and especially through the last couple of months, because the Lion's Gate was essentially bringing through this stream of consciousness that would allow all those patterns to rapidly surface for us to potentially hit, maybe even hit a rock bottom in that, and we're constantly going into that space and then rising up from it, right? So that bottom, whatever that bottom is for you, potentially you have reached it. I know I've reached it multiple times in the last couple of months, and from that space we get to see patterns that have been playing out, and the pattern is just a pattern, right? It is just a pattern. It is not truth. It is not our highest expression. It is a pattern. And when we're not conscious of it, we just continue to spiral in the pattern. So the last couple of months were about becoming super aware of the pattern, and then putting us into what I like to call a little cosmic timeout, which is what we've been in the last couple of weeks, that has then started to purify. Give us a space to purify the patterns, which is why we've been having all these hurricanes and all of these major rainstorms and all of these shifts that is bringing a lot of water onto the planet, and that water has been assisting us in actually purifying those patterns, so that when we go into October, right, this October 1st, and then we have 10/10, and then we have November 1st, and then we have November 11th. These are major gateways for us, planetarily speaking, that are going to essentially put us all collectively on the timeline of unity, of this higher spiritual initiation that the planet said yes to back in 2012. So the planet said yes to this, and now we have slowly been bringing our consciousness of the collective on board with it. So this year is about the collective saying yes to this higher spiritual initiation for our species to actually be a part of the growth and evolution that the earth is undergoing. And many animals have been saying yes to this. Many species of animals have been saying this, yes to this. Many species of animals have been saying no to this, which is why we are having a lot of species go extinct and things of that nature. We're also simultaneously having a lot of species that have been going extinct start to come back, start to repopulate, because they, as a species, said yes to the evolution that's taking place. And before, this is really beautiful that's wanting to come through right now, so I'm happy that this is coming through. That said, a lot of these species that were on the extinction list before 2012, they were going extinct because the planet had not fully shifted and made the choice to go into the higher time bands of evolution, of light. So a lot of the species that were already on that, they had already said yes to going through that higher evolution, they were starting to become extinct. And really it was because, well, the earth just wasn't a field where they could fully thrive. Now that the earth has been on the trajectory of this evolution again, a lot of those species are coming back and are starting to no longer be on the extinction list and are starting to repopulate on the earth, because they had said yes already, and the earth is now yes, and now species that are yes are starting to grow and flourish and evolve, and species that have, it's not their moment in time to make that higher evolutionary jump, they are starting to become what we call extinct, or are going through mass population deaths, so that they can go into alternative timelines where they can continue their evolution and growth. So humanity in this year, not only for humanity, a lot of species are making the decision collectively throughout their species to go along with the evolution that's taking place, that this 11 year has been inviting us all into, this higher spiritual initiation, this higher spiritual evolution, which is ultimately where the earth is right now. Not all evolutions are going to be highly spiritual in nature. That said, it's just because of where the earth is at in her development, where we're at in consciousness, we're at a spiritual initiation moment in time. So as we start to come into this process that we're in, all of the patterns that have become very obvious to us in the last few months, maybe this last year, are possibly, right? This is all possibly, are becoming very, very prevalent in your field right now, so that you can fully go into them so deep in these last 5 days before the 10-1 alignment, the first 11-11 alignment that we're going to go into 4 11-11 alignments in 2 months. This is going to be major expansion. If you feel Lionsgate and the eclipses as major activation portals, those happen every single year. 4 11-11 alignments do not happen every single year, right? This isn't going to happen again for many, many years to come. So it is a very auspicious moment in time. It's a very transformational moment in time. It's a very possibly confusing moment in time. Maybe you're in a lot of pain right now as you start to unravel these experiences. I know myself, I was crying moments before getting on this video, tuning into these patterns and getting this download, which is so beautiful that it brought up so much emotion, because I'm too also part of the collective and processing certain patterns right now. So I have created a little cocoon space for us to process these patterns and to really shift from this old time band through this 11-11. So we have 4 11-11 portals coming up. So this weekend, I'm creating this free little cocoon space for anyone who wants to come in and to really look at those patterns and to really look at all the things that have been working, look at all the things that have maybe drained our energy a bit, and look at all the areas that maybe could use a little bit more sunshine, a little bit more tender loving care, so that they can flourish and blossom moving forward. And I'm calling it this little fall reset because we're also at the changing of seasons. That said, it's for 2 days, and it's this Saturday and Sunday, so the 29th and the 30th, and it's going to be this last push for us to just release all of this and enter into the 10-1 activation of this first 4 11-11 gateways, which are going to be a quickening, like major quickening for our higher spiritual initiation and for the changing of our lives, really, and whatever way that looks like for each of us individually. It's going to look very different on the collective space. So the little 2-day free challenge that I'm doing is really creating a space to prompt you through really purifying and dissolving any of these last patterns that are surfacing, so that we can all enter in to 10-1 like super activated, super on point, and feeling very clear and pure to move through this end of the year, which is going to be huge. We are going to see a lot of things change in a very short amount of time, not only in our own personal lives, in the collective sphere as well. A lot of big changes that impact the whole planet, changes that impact countries and religions and businesses and independent people's lives are going to happen in a very short amount of time. So we are entering into that moment of time in 5 days, and it is going to be sometimes challenging. It is going to be sometimes confusing. That said, there's going to be so much energy moving through you that any of the confusion or challenge just sort of melts away, because you have so much energy moving through you that none of that matters anymore. All that matters is your higher initiation, so that you can move with the earth forward. So this little reset, I invite you to join me. It is exciting as fuck, right? That's what Jerome says. I'm super pumped, and this is amazing, right? This is an amazing time to be alive. This little gateway that we're entering into is, it's really a once in a planetary kind of gateway, and it's very exciting, and it holds the potential to change everything in your life that you are ready to change, that you are fully engaging and changing, and even the things that are not serving your highest and best, that you aren't even aware of, that maybe you're not fully ready yet to change are going to change, because this energy is going to just clear everything. And going into that very consciously and very intentionally is always the highest and best. So that's why I'm creating this little 2-day challenge for us all to come together and to collectively process this out. And this is free for everyone who feels resonant to come in. I have allowed for this to be created in a way that really brings us collectively together forward. So I invite you to join me. Of course, right as I say that, my 1:11 alarm that goes off every day starts to ring and go off here in Eastern Standard Time. It's 1:11. So divine timing, I think, would be the right word to say. So yeah, I would love for you to join me if you resonate and you want to tap into this 4-4 or 4-4-4-4. I guess it's also 4-4-4-4 because we're adding all those ones together. So if you want to tap into this potent 4.1111 gateway in super pure, clear, aligned channel and really release those patterns, then come and join this little challenge this weekend, because we're going to be really unraveling this. And I'll leave the link for you to join in the subject of the video once I post the video again. And please share it with anyone that you know will resonate. It's just about a lot of things, right? There's that word that goes, when two or more are gathered, so much more, because we are processing deep ancestral collective patterns right now. Doing it together in a co-created field is going to allow for that energy to magnify and amplify and move so much quicker and allow us to process this in a short amount of time. That's why I'm guided to bring us all together into this little sacred container where we can do this preparation work for the next 2 months to come together. So I'd love for you to join in and share it with people that you know will resonate, or that are maybe moving through a lot of challenges in their own life right now, or are feeling the energy very quickly and are setting themselves up to launch things. You might be at a moment where you're setting yourself up to launch a lot of stuff in the next couple months. I know I am in my world. A lot of things are getting ready to be launched, and I'm kind of just letting it flow and trusting. A lot of trust is being asked of us right now, because we are in a space of time out, as I said, to prepare us energetically for what's to come in 5 days and then the following remainder months of this year. So just allow yourself that space of nurturing, and then join in on the little challenge this weekend that's going to have an opportunity for you to cleanse your body. It's going to have an opportunity for you to really reflect on the patterns that have been revealing themselves, and to work through anything that is to be worked through in a collective field where we're all working through a lot of the same patterns together. So again, I'll leave the link for you to join that challenge in the little title of the video, and just share it with anyone who will resonate. And if you have any questions about what's going on, if you're feeling like all over in this field, you can always send me a private message, and I'd love to connect with you, or comment on this video, and I always come back and drop into the comments and questions that come through. That said, I'll leave it with just quoting Jerome one more time. This is an exciting as fuck time. Like, welcome to the future, really, in this moment now. And whatever you're moving through, just know that we're collectively moving through it. You are supported, you are loved, you are deeply held in the cauldron of the earth right now, who is making a giant leap, and we're all leaping together through this moment in time. So just wherever you're at, whatever you're moving through, just be really gentle and kind with yourself for the next 5 days, and be really compassionate and really nurturing of whatever you're moving through, because it is not yours. It is collective. It is deep, deep patterns that are being dissolved right now. So I invite you to join me in dissolving them together, so that we can enter in to the 10-1 first of our 11-11 portals, clear, pure, and ready to really harness this energy and create a mighty difference on this planet together. Much love for you all. I am Ahaumna, signing off. Bye.